Right, so we're back with this. Okay, we're recording 2 episodes in a row because whatever. And I forgot last time to show you how it's rendered. So this camera here, this camera's a bit dumb. You press 0 to go into it. The default camera is always at this dumb angle. Don't know why. So what you should do is you press X, delete that shit. Okay? Go to 1 on your numpad. That takes you to the front view. Now, something you might not know, I didn't mention this in the last tutorial, but if you press 5 on your numpad, that switches between perspective view and ortho view. That's very important, because one of them, it's important. Okay? So you press Shift A in object mode, create a camera. Now in ortho view, whatever angle you are at, it will create at that angle. So if you're at let's just press 6, that takes you left. Well, right, I'm sorry, dumb me. A couple times, 1, 2, 3, and then press 8, 1, 2, 3. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, okay, 1, 2, 3. Alright? Put your cursor there, Shift A, camera. You'll notice it does it at the exact angle. So that's always good to know. Now, you probably don't want to move this camera on the axis as it is on. So what you should do is you do local, which changes it to the camera's axis, so you can move it in that way. But yeah, so that's just a tip for if you want to place cameras easier. Okay, so now what you do is you move the camera to where you want it to be, probably here. Maybe rotate it a little like that. Okay, press 0. That's your camera view. You can press G to also grab, but you can't do local with the G. So if you press Z, X, or Y, you do it on the axis. So Z brings it up. And then, yeah. So doing like R or G or S, you can't do it on the local axis of the object. So just keep that in mind. So now, let's look at what we have. Pretty cool.
Nice.
Right. So, in Blender, you can press the I key, okay? The I key is very important because the I key is what adds keyframes. So this is your keyframe menu. There's a lot of shit here. I'm not going to go through all of them because the important thing to demonstrate here is how much shit you can press I on. Okay? So, I don't know, let's start with a rotation, okay? This is just a basic animation tutorial. So this is your timeline. It's at the beginning. What you should probably do is you probably switch this to 0. That's recommended. So move it along here and just press R on this bone, or you can use this. Just rotate it a little like that, I guess. Press I again, rotation. Now you got a bit of a simple movement.
Wow.
So you can do that on all bones. You can even do it on objects. Okay, so let's just, let's undo that.
Can you pick which way it rotates?
Of course I can. Although that's a bit of a problem because sometimes it just doesn't agree with you. It's very tough. So I don't know. Let's say you want to do. Okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say you want to do a quick 360-degree motion. What you would have to do is you'd have to go like say you want to do that, okay? Like that. I wanted it to go that way, but instead it'll do that. So what you got to do is you got to, guide it along a bit. Guide it along so that it's a bit easier to do. And even then you still have problems. Like, for example, you can't copy that keyframe back, It's really weird how bones work. That's location, not rotation. Okay, so now we gotta...
I see.
Yeah, but that's not the point. So, as I was saying, you can even do keyframes on objects, not just bones. So, I don't know, let's just say Locra. That's rotation and location. Then just do it over here. Okay. G, X, maybe rotate it a bit like that. And like like that. You know. And off it goes.
Nice.
Now,
Are you intentionally leaving the eyes there?
well, yeah, because it's not parented. It's parented to the bone, not to the thing. So, to read these eyes, you would do location on whatever bone you want to do. Another thing that you can animate that might not be obvious is a lot of shit. Okay, so see our material here? You mouse over this, okay? You press I. That is the keyframe for it. Okay, maybe I'm going to go to frame 30. Press I again, you know, just in case, just to have it be like that. Then go to frame 60, I don't know. Change the colour to something better, you know. Press I. Now, if we look at the rendered view, okay, go to rendered, you'll notice it's blue. And then eventually it sort of changes over to green. You know? But that only works in rendered view, you know. So get rid of those keyframes by opening a new window like that, going to the dope sheet and just getting rid of that. We don't need it anymore. So I think you can press I on roughness too. Yeah, you can press I on everything. You know. Just, you know, the whole thing about pressing I on shit is that you should try and experiment with what you can press on. I didn't mean to open that window. Bloody hell. Hey, stop it. What are you doing? Oh, god damn it. Probably experiment with what you should do. Okay, so, you know, volume. I don't think you can do it on that. You know, any gauge you can do it on is what I've noticed. So let's see, what else can we find that has it? A lot of modifiers you can animate too. So let's see, what one could you animate? I know for a fact that wave is one of them. I'm pretty sure. Well, you can probably press I here. Yeah, see, you press I there, press I there, press I there, and press I there. You know, a lot of pressing I's. You know. And that's what wave modifier does. So let's, I don't know, let's try going to frame 1, I guess. Perhaps pressing I to do like an offset. Maybe move it along a bit and go ooh, you know. And that makes it a bit more wavy, I'm pretty sure, does it? You know. You know, it does look a bit of a weird slowdown thing. You know? Anyway, let's undo that. But sometimes that happens when you're too fast. Okay, so go back to material. So let's try another one. I don't know, like width, you know? Press I. Go down here. Put it all the way down or all the way up. Whatever. Do it. And then maybe also do a similar thing for speed. Like, you know, press I. Go to the next keyframe. And, I don't know. You can change this. Like, type it into 5. You know. Press I again. You know. It's a bit weird looking.
Yeah, it's Donkey Kong seizure, like.
Yeah, bit weird looking, but you know, it kind of works. When you're wanting to do something like that, you should probably do the height too. You know, let's put this up to 6 for shits and giggles. You know, it'll look a bit weird, but that's the whole point. That's the whole point of this video. The point of this video is to show you what you can experiment with. You can even do this, right? You can do buttons too. It's like, you know, eventually it goes like that. You know, it's a bit strange. But also, you can do this. So, motion, X, and then move like, I don't know, maybe a frame or a couple. Untick it, press it again. You know? Let's see what we got. We got a little wavy Magoo. Kind of looks like he's riding a horse. like a bucking horse. So let's just remove that modifier. There's a lot of shit you can do. You press I, try it. Now sometimes there are things where, you know, you can't press I. So there's probably more modifiers. Like, let's see. You can probably do UV warp, like a lot of these can be animated, is the point. Well, let's see. Can solidify be animated? See? It can be animated. You know, so just put that thickness all the way up. It doesn't actually work, I don't think. But like, it's not. It doesn't seem to do anything because, you know, it's on a cube. Solidify normally only works on things with more than one thing. Like, look, you can animate all these buttons. I, you know? If it turns yellow, that means you've inserted a keyframe. Let's see what else. Simple deform, you know? Look at that. It's a bit weird looking. I didn't undo the other ones. Yeah, okay. Okay, so, simple deform, you know? I, you know? I. Maybe even this. You can eye that too, you know? I didn't even know you could eye that. I just found out now.
There you go. You're learning as well.
You know? And that's, you know. Now, we should go on about cameras a bit more too.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone over the section on, you know, pressing I, like, can you eye this? Yeah, you see, you can eye that. Don't know why, but you can. Let's just undo that. So, the thing about cameras is that you can also move them. So, this camera here, if I press I on the camera, like lock rod, now you move it along a bit, rotate it like that, G that, and do that. What's in our view now? So, like that. Press I again, lock rod. As you can see, the camera does indeed pan.
Oh, sick.
You know, I've used it before in many of my cartoons. But there's another thing about cameras. Let's get rid of this one. Okay? Press 1 and then do the thing again. Create a new camera. Now, there are a couple of types of cameras. I'm going to teach you about 2 of them because I'm not sure about how the other one works. There's perspective and orthographic. I bet you can press I on this too. See, you can press I on that. You know? It's crazy. Press I on that, press I on that, you know. Probably, can you? Yeah, see? Anything, you press I. You know? So, we look in the camera. As you can see, it's... Well, it's a bit hard to tell you. Okay, fine. Let's add another object with a bit more, like, shading on it. So as you can see, that's a bit weird looking. I didn't make that on a mission, did I? Look, the point is not that it's a bit blue looking. Point is that, you know, it's not 2-dimensional. So if you change that to, well, actually, there's a better way to tell. So let's rotate this down a bit, like that. Grab it up a bit, like that. You can see it's a bit, you know, not 2-dimensional. Orthographic is fully 2-dimensional. So you can... Actually, that looks a bit more 3D than the other one. It's a bit more focused, orthographic. So rotate, X. You know, that's 2D. Note the spear, okay? When I fucking change it. You know? A lot less depth. You know, a lot less depth on the spear. Perspective, you know. If I scale this spear along the y-axis, right? Like this, or maybe not like that. Yeah, like that, okay? And like rotate it slightly. Notice how there's some slight depth.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's in orthographic. No. Well, notice how there's some slight depth in perspective. Now in orthographic, there's like no depth. Okay. So yeah, and orthographic cameras are a bit big. You can animate orthographic style too. So like go like I, then I don't know. I again. He stares into your soul, like that sort of shit. Yeah, and it's nuts. There are camera presets. Look at that. GoPro.
Nice. What do they look like? What's the difference?
I don't know. Let's try it. What's a Canon look like? Interesting.
I don't see much of a difference.
Yeah, it's probably got something to do with the render. Or not. Never mind. Anyway, let's just delete that camera. So that was my second shitty tutorial. I'm not sure if I'll find anything else to do on this, but you can press I on a lot of things. Press I on these things. Press I on that, probably. On a lot of things. So just try pressing I. It's important to experiment with this shit. So I guess that's the end of this tutorial.